like a boxing ref stepping in to stop the fight rather earlier than one might have expected. Speaker Sir Lindsay Hoyle almost protectively said, "Prime Minister, I think you ought to at least try to address the question," before mercifully, for Boris, moving the debate on. Because this bout of Prime Minister's questions, make no mistake, was a rare one for Sir Keir Starmer. Boris wriggled and ducked and feinted, but the blows landed one after the other, and the imprint they left on the Prime Minister spelled our sleaze in capital letters, because sleaze is back, with a vengeance. This may be unfair, but he looked like a man with something to hide. It's quite possible though he was just incensed at the damage his mate Dave was doing to the party and Boris' premiership. After months of the Tories running the show almost unhindered, aided and abetted by bucketfuls of lockdown patients from a public resigned to giving them the benefit of the doubt. A couple of weeks ago the Sunday Times unearthed a little tale about David Cameron, a financial services firm called Greensill Capital, and Rishi Sunak, among others. Initially it seemed like one of those over-complex tales about parliamentary procedure which rarely gain much traction outside of the London media bubble. But the paper persevered, and was joined by others, and the story morphed into a tale of good old-fashioned government sleaze. David Cameron, who let's be honest always had an air of spiv about him, was apparently tapping up his government mates to push a firm he was set to be £60 million to the good for being involved with. He didn't actually break any rules and he was cleared by an official watchdog in March, but the whole thing seemed as whiffy as a fortnight-old haddock. It's complicated, but for once at PMQ's Keir didn't go down the tedious forensic lawyer route but simply stuck to the simple soundbite, because whether Cameron and Boris like it or not, the public now think this stinks of sleaze. The Labour leader started with a slightly lame sounding, "Does the Prime Minister believe the current lobbying rules are fit for purpose?" which garnered an unusually conciliatory response from Boris. "I share the widespread concern about some of the stuff we are reading at the moment. So far so good," and he should have left it there. But Keir pushed a little harder, saying, "I know the Prime Minister is launching an inquiry, but it is not looking at lobbying rules. Every day there is further evidence of sleaze that is now at the heart of this Conservative government." And there it was, that word sleaze, so long so strangely absent from politics. And at this point I think my kids would describe Boris as triggered. He ill-advisedly started throwing around wild accusations. To be fair, some of them true, but he was effectively saying the Labour Party was just as bad. The point was not lost on a Keir Starmer, a man who for once even seemed to be enjoying himself. Sky News' Adam Bolton described him as playful, which was pushing it a bit, but gone were the pursed lips and the air of the perennially aggrieved. Good grief, at one point he was even off script and busking it a bit with the quip, "This is the shoplifter's defense. Everyone else is nicking stuff, so why can't I?" For once he felt on point, witty and even likeable. As our right Parliament is debating Labour's call for a full parliamentary inquiry into what I think we can now comfortably call the Greensill scandal, Boris has rejected it, which seems incredibly unwise. This sleaze isn't going to wash itself away, and it's hard to see why you would reject a full inquiry which could clear senior government figures of any perception of wrongdoing. Which clearly it would do, wouldn't it?